The Townsend Sphere modeling microphone. Let's run it through some VO and see what happens. Hey everybody, it's Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. And I thought I'd just take a real quick moment here to just run through some models of the Townsend Sphere, doing like a tag through them, so you can hear the difference. So I'm going to switch to a screen capture mode, so you don't have to look at this. And you have nothing to Sphere but Sphere itself. So let's go on this journey together. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm just going to click from one model to the next one, and we're going to blow through these microphones. I'm going to do the same tag over and over. Okay, here we go. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. All right, so I'm going to stop here, mostly because I don't like the 37. Here we go. All right, 414. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Hate that one. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. All right, so, and just to, here we go. Let's just do the 416. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Okay, so, I'm going to leave it here. So what'd you think? What did you hear? I mean, obviously there were some models. I think the 414 models are a little low-end heavy, and you could probably filter, out the low end and make it usable. But, to me, the 414s are good, like all-arounder, and not necessarily my favorite thing for VO. I don't think they really have the right tone for most commercial VO. So for a promo, it would not be the right one, as far as I'm concerned. For you, maybe, on your voice, it might work great. I actually think that the 47 sounds more like an 87 than the 87 does. I could be wrong. I'm not crazy about this 67. I think it sounds very nasal. This one sounds better, a little bit more open. And then when we get to the vintage, here, I want you to hear the difference between the Sphere Vintage and the Sphere AI. All right, so here's the vintage. All right, so the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. All right, so here, to me, these are like, if you're going to use the Sphere for VO, the 87 models are kind of like right in there with the ones you will probably check out first, right, for VO. So here we go. Hold on. Here, I'm going to just do the Allstate tag back and forth. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. Call your local Allstate agent for a quote today. Allstate, you've never been in better hands. So yeah, I mean, you can hear the difference. And then there's this hybrid Tracy Corby 87, which has a really inflated 414-ish bottom end. And I thought I'd like this microphone, but I don't. I actually don't. It's a little bit too much on the low end. It's okay. I mean, for my voice, I don't like it. And, when you get here, you really notice a difference. And then the 251 just has that nice, really forward, there's a lot of, harmonically rich content in there. So anyway, oh, and just so you know, I have the Sphere, which is a setting on the Townsend Sphere that you can. It helps you. I hate to say mitigate, but it does help to model the mics more precisely, given the enclosed space of my booth. So I use it, and I think it's a little tighter. So here, hold on, let me turn it off. All right, so here it is without the Sphere on, and here it is with it. So it's a subtle difference, but I kind of like it on. My personal taste. So anyway, and then and here's the 800, and the 800's cool. And one thing that's really neat. Hold on, check this out. So if I wanted to, let's say I want to make a hybrid microphone, right, with all this right here. Okay, so let's do a 50-50 mix. But I don't know if I'd use the 800 and the 251 together for a VO mic. However, I might use the 416, and I would probably use it really here, right? So you can really achieve a lot of interesting combinations. And then you can dial up the proximity and make it a little bit more bottom end heavy, like you're really leaning into it. There's a lot you can do here, which is really neat. So you can make a lot of hybrid microphones, right? So here, what if we blend the 67, right, with let's see, what if we blend the 67 with the 414 brass, right? So here it is together, and here we're talking just through the 67, and here we're talking just through the 414, but we can achieve a nice blend here. I'll probably put this in cardioid here. So yeah, you can get some nice stuff. If you really want to tinker around, you can build a really big arsenal of microphones. And I haven't even gotten into the Bill Putnam collection or the Ocean Way collection yet, which are pretty amazing. So, all right, so let's go back. So my overall feelings about the Sphere is that it works. It works really well for what I need it to do, which is often achieve a lot of different tonalities for different projects. Now, one thing that I have done a lot of is character voice stuff. Just going back here, let's just go back to the 87 Modern. So I did a lot of the Crayola stuff on here, I feel like this has back off a little bit. If I back off a little bit more, and
Hey, Ray, why you do what you do? To make money, stupid.
so I feel like there's a responsiveness, a quickness to the transient response is really clean here. And it has that forwardness, and it works. It works in the context of the final product. And that's really what it comes down to for me. The Sphere overall is a compromise. The 87 doesn't necessarily sound like an 87 would side by side. It's close. I think it's pretty close. But, there is something to it. It's maybe like 95% of the way there. But often that's enough. And I know sometimes when you're listening solo in your headphones, a microphone may sound amazing solo in your headphones, right? But in the context of a mix, it may sound not so amazing. And that's like really one of the big problems I have with a TLM 103. The TLM 103 is a microphone that was created to hang basically over orchestras. It was basically designed to record orchestras from a distance, which is why you had the exaggerated low end and high end on a TLM 103. It was not designed as a vocal microphone. So you have the TLM 103, which is a predominantly, I would say, it's got its neutrality to it, but it's got its exaggerations to it. So it's not necessarily an honest microphone. Everybody sounds really good through a TLM 103. The first time they listen to it, they put on their headphones and they're like, wow, I sound amazing. But in the context of a mix, that low end and that high end could be very difficult to mix with. I have a whole story about this. I'm going to tell at a different time, but my point that I'm getting to in a very, very roundabout way is that the work product that I've created on the Sphere has worked very well in the projects that I have worked on with the Sphere. And the 416 doesn't sound exactly like a real 416. It's close, but it's close enough. It has the sonic profile that producers are looking for, enough of it. And it cuts through a mix. It doesn't sound exactly as good, but remember, most of the time these VOs are buried under, not buried, but underneath a vocal track, not vocal track, a music bed. A vocal track. I'm the vocal track, damn it. So it works in the context of the finished product. And the speed at which you can use the Sphere to blow through a lot of different sounds to find the one that will work best for your project. Something like this might be a little warmer for an audiobook read. So, the outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9 that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning more to play. So, something like that, you might want a more gentle sound for an audiobook. And I have limited space here in the booth. If I had all the space in the world, I would definitely go back. I would hang a lot of microphones here because I like microphones. And now I can have a whole arsenal of microphones right here, just with the Sphere. And that's why I really like it a lot. That's why it has a permanent spot in the booth with the other microphones, because it's so versatile. And I know it's a compromise. It doesn't sound exactly like the mics it's supposed to be modeling, but it sounds close enough that it really works in terms of creating work product. The end result is that the clients are happy. And I have done hundreds of spots using the Townsend Sphere through the SSL in just the last year. I mean, since I've had this thing, I have done so many spots with it. I love it, and I know that, if I had the space to hang all the mics that it models and the money to buy all the mics that it models, I might do that. But the low noise floor on this, 7 dB of self-noise, how versatile it is, how creative you can get with your sounds with hybrid microphones that you create. It's so much fun. It's a lot of fun to work with. It's responsive. It's built like a tank. It's a great mic. And again, I know it's not perfect, but my empirical evidence, and I've mentioned this before, if you've watched some of my videos before, I've mentioned it before, my empirical evidence is that if I use a microphone on some auditions and stuff, I always try microphones out on auditions. Got to do real world testing on it. And I know that I've lost auditions because I've done them on the wrong microphone. Right? You have the wrong sound going in. You're not going to win it. But I have won a lot of auditions with it. I booked a lot of work with it. So the empirical evidence states that the compromise works. So I'm happy with it. Overall, great work tool. The Townsend Sphere. What do you think? I want to know. Let me know, would you VO with the Sphere or not? You know how it goes. Like, comment, share, subscribe, live your life, have fun, do great things, make amazing stuff, be happy. Those are all the things that I'm asking right now. I know it's a lot. Just, pick 3 from that list. Just pick 3, any 3. All right, until next time. This is Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, fading to black.